Imagine a world where someone suddenly gains superhuman strength, where an ordinary thief turns into a Superman-level powerhouse overnight. Something similar begins to unfold with Enzo, a small-time criminal who spends most of his life hiding inside a cramped little room. At the very start, he steals an expensive watch and escapes while the police chase him through the streets. To save himself, he jumps into a river and presses tightly against a wall, hoping the officers won't spot him. Once the police leave, he tries to climb back up using a barrel floating in the water. But the moment he leaps, the barrel breaks apart. His entire body sinks straight into radioactive waste. Somehow he drags himself out and heads home, but his condition rapidly worsens. Dark, sticky liquid starts oozing from his mouth, and he keeps vomiting that same black substance again and again. His cough refuses to stop. The next morning, however, he wakes up feeling strangely better. Later, he meets his neighbor and gang member Sergio, who works for a ruthless man named Fabio. Fabio is so unstable that he once killed one of his own men, just because he brought him a phone in the wrong color. Meanwhile, Sergio pays Enzo 100 euros for the stolen watch and asks him to join in on a drug deal. Since the money sounds good, Enzo agrees. When they go to Sergio's house to collect supplies for the deal, Enzo meets Sergio's daughter, Alessia, for the first time. Her behavior seems unusual. Like a child, she has filled the walls with countless drawings. She tells Enzo about an anime called Steel Jeeg, explaining that she believes her hero Jeeg will one day come to save her. Sergio later reveals that after losing her mother, Alessia completely withdrew from the real world and spends all her time watching that cartoon. On the way, they pick up drug mules, people forced to carry packets of narcotics hidden inside their bodies so the police won't detect them. One of the mules dies from an overdose because the packets burst inside him. Enraged, the victim's brother blames Sergio and opens fire at him. Before collapsing, Sergio grabs the attacker and slams his head repeatedly against a wall, injuring him badly. In those final desperate moments before dying, he fires one last shot at Enzo too. Enzo stumbles back, loses his balance, and falls from the upper floor of the building. A normal human would never survive a fall from that height. Yet Enzo suddenly opens his eyes and stands up as if nothing happened. He has no idea how he is still alive or what is happening to him. On the other side, Fabio and his men are at a nightclub, meeting with the boss of Rome's largest drug cartel. She asks him about the drug deal, and he lies, saying everything went perfectly. He knows that if he admits the truth, that the drugs are completely missing, he will be killed instantly. Meanwhile, Enzo returns home, where Alessia asks him about her father. But Enzo ignores her questions and walks straight into his flat. Even when he refuses to answer, Alessia keeps knocking on his door with childlike persistence. Annoyed, Enzo punches the door in anger, and to his shock, his hand tears right through the wood. Stunned by this incredible strength, he pushes his wardrobe, and it slams hard against the wall. He finally realizes that the radioactive waste has given him superhuman power. That very night, he lifts an entire ATM machine and drags it home. With the money inside, he buys himself good food and enjoys a life he never had before. Along with his strength, his wounds also begin to heal at an unnatural speed. The bullet wound on his shoulder completely disappears within hours. Meanwhile, Gypsy's men interrogate Alessia about her father, suspecting that Fabio has run away with the drugs. But Alessia truly knows nothing, so she stands silently, frightened and helpless. Suddenly, Enzo smashes through the window wearing a mask and gloves. Using his superhuman strength, he defeats the men within minutes, leaving them no chance to fight back. Realizing they cannot win, the gang flees. Enzo then takes Alessia to his apartment to keep her safe. Alessia, in her fragile state of mind, believes that Enzo is her cartoon hero Jeeg, who has finally come to rescue her. Understanding her delicate condition, Enzo gently agrees, allowing her to hold on to that comforting belief. Meanwhile, Fabio watches the footage of the ATM theft, which has now gone viral on the internet. He is convinced that the masked man in the video is the same person who humiliated them the previous day. At that moment, Fabio's right-hand man Antonio arrives and advises him to take out a loan to quickly repay their debts. But Fabio refuses, insisting instead that they will rob a bank truck, a plan they had already prepared. On the other side, Enzo discovers the same plan hidden among Sergio's papers. The next day, Fabio and his men wait with guns for the truck to arrive. But before they can act, Enzo intercepts the vehicle and steals everything himself. Fabio's men fire bullets in frustration, yet Enzo escapes unharmed. Later that night, Enzo and Alessia sit together, watching her favorite anime. When Enzo moves a little closer, Alessia suddenly panics and bursts into tears. It becomes clear that in her past, she suffered abuse, leaving her deeply traumatized. The next day, she keeps pleading with Enzo to rescue her father. To comfort her, Enzo takes her to an amusement park. Using his extraordinary strength, he powers the rides without electricity, bringing a rare moment of joy to her fragile world. Meanwhile, tension rises between Fabio and Antonio. Antonio insists that they must repay Nunzia's money as quickly as possible, even if it means borrowing to do so. Fabio refuses to agree, and when Antonio keeps pressing, Fabio loses his temper and unleashes his dogs on him. The attack turns deadly, and Antonio is killed. On the other side, Enzo takes Alessia to a mall and buys her a princess dress she has always dreamed of. Later, he gently tells her about Sergio's death. Heartbroken, Alessia cries and asks why he didn't save her father. Soon, the news of the bank truck robbery spreads everywhere, and Enzo becomes famous under the name Supercriminal. Fabio, furious at Enzo's growing reputation, now desires the same kind of superhuman strength for himself. Meanwhile, upset, Alessia boards a bus alone, but Enzo uses his strength to stop the bus from moving. He enters, apologizes to her, and convinces her to come with him. Yet he forgets to wear his mask and cap. Looking around, he realizes people are recording videos of him from every angle. Quickly, he takes Alessia away from the crowd. With no other option left, Fabio borrows money from a dealer friend to repay Nunzia. But soon Nunzia arrives with her men, enraged that the payment is late. A violent clash breaks out, and bullets fly across the scene. In the end, only Nunzia and Fabio survive. Returning to his hideout, Fabio discovers that all his men have been killed. At that moment, the video of Enzo stopping the bus plays on television. Fabio immediately recognizes his face and sets out to hunt him down. Meanwhile, Enzo prepares to escape the city with Alessia, hoping to hide somewhere far away because the police now know he is involved. They stop at a small hotel for the night. But before Enzo can plan their next move, Fabio suddenly shows up with a gun and knocks him unconscious. When Enzo wakes up, he finds himself tightly bound with duct tape. Fabio threatens Alessia's life and demands to know the secret behind Enzo's superhuman strength. To save her, Enzo takes him to the riverside and explains everything about the radioactive waste. Fabio struggles to believe any of it. Before their argument can end, Nunzia and her men ambush them and open fire from all sides. In the chaos, both Fabio and Alessia are struck by multiple bullets. Driven by revenge, Nunzia burns Fabiano's body and throws it into the river. As Alessia takes her final breaths, she asks Enzo to use his powers to help people, no matter how strong he becomes or how lost he feels. Completely shattered, Enzo watches helplessly as she dies in his arms. The next day, Fabio rises from the river, reborn with the same superhuman strength that Enzo gained. Consumed by madness, he storms straight into Nunzia's hideout and slaughters everyone there. While attacking them, he records himself, hoping to gain fame just like Enzo. Meanwhile, Enzo wanders the streets in deep grief after losing Alessia. Suddenly, he encounters a car accident. A little girl is trapped inside a burning vehicle, and with no hesitation, he uses his abilities to pull her out safely. Her mother breaks down in gratitude. Moments later, Enzo sees Fabio on television, announcing that he plans to blow up the largest stadium in Rome, simply because he feels like it. With no purpose and no reason, just pure destruction. Enzo races toward the stadium, where thousands of people are eagerly waiting for the match to begin. In the parking area, he confronts Fabio holding the bomb remote. A fierce and brutal fight erupts between them. Fabio manages to escape into the stadium, and Enzo chases him. Before Enzo can stop him, Fabio activates the bomb. Enzo grabs the explosive device and sprints toward the river, determined to throw it far away from the crowds. Just as he is about to release it, Fabio attacks and sends him crashing to the ground. The bomb is seconds away from detonating. With no other choice, Enzo leaps off the bridge with both Fabio and the bomb. The explosion erupts underwater. The explosion kills Fabio instantly, his body torn apart, while everyone believes Enzo has also perished. But in the final scene, we see Enzo alive, standing at a distance, gazing quietly at the city. And now the question is left for you. If given the chance, which superpower would you choose? Share your thoughts in the comments, and we'll meet again in the next video.